Greetings, CPAC members. Congratulations on your assignment to this Citizens Advisory Committee involved in the work of completing the City of Milton's Comprehensive Plan. I am McIntosh-Ross, Principal Planner with the City of Milton since 2008, and I have actually worked on all the city's previous comprehensive planning efforts. Along with me, our team on this project will be Teresa Stickles, who is our Conservation Project Manager. Subhanshi Jangam is our Senior Planner, and the Director of our Community Development Department, Parag Agrawal. Milton has been rated the best city to live in Georgia in recent years by a few rating systems. I would like to attribute this to the good planning and foresight that we have been able to accomplish as a city. We hope to maintain this high standard of living with the implementation of this comprehensive plan that we are about to produce. In this session, I will go over these topics. What is a comprehensive plan, or Comp Plan for short? Georgia planning and the agencies that guide local comprehensive planning. Milton's comprehensive plan history. The plan requirements for this year. Scope of work for our consulting assistant, TXW. And then we will talk about you and your role as CPAC. What is a comprehensive plan? What is this document that we will be working on? Basically, a comprehensive plan is a long-term vision document that describes how the community wants to be in 20 years. As the Atlanta Regional Commission puts it, great places don't just happen by accident. They are planned with careful and deliberate work with the local residents to identify the vision and develop a framework and strategies to guide the vision into fruition. A robust public engagement strategy is key to successful comprehensive plans. The plan covers the geography of where the community would want to see growth or conservation. It also covers economic, social, political, and aesthetic factors. We will talk more about what will be covered in Milton's comprehensive plan later in this presentation. So I mentioned the Georgia Planning Act, and I mentioned the minimum standards and procedures for local comprehensive planning. These are our guiding documents. The state agency in charge is the Georgia Department of Community Affairs, or DCA. Our completed comprehensive plan will have to meet the minimum standards put forth by the DCA. The regional agencies throughout the state help the DCA review the plans within their regions and check for its completeness. Our regional agency is the Atlanta Regional Commission, or ARC. The Atlanta Regional Commission, or ARC, coordinates the planning for the Metro Atlanta region. Their planning area includes the 10 counties you see here on the map, as well as all the cities within. The ARC works with its member municipalities to help plan and coordinate projects to advance the region into the future. The ARC is also required to produce and submit a comprehensive plan for the region to the DCA. And in general, our plan should be compatible with ARC's regional plan. Here are Milton's previous comprehensive plans. The 2030 comprehensive plan you see on the left that was completed and adopted in 2011, and the 5-year update that was adopted in 2016 on the right. As I mentioned previously, the long-term vision horizon for comprehensive plans is 20 years. Our first comprehensive plan, referred to as the 2030 plan, was that 20-year plan, i.e. from 2010 to 2030. DCA requires that local governments complete a major plan every 10 years meaning a 20-year plan every 10 years, with 5-year updates between. Milton's 2030 plan set the overarching vision and character for the city. The 2016 5-year update was not a major undertaking and sort of confirmed and reiterated the concepts already established in the 2030 plan. This comprehensive plan that we are about to start working on will be another major 20-year plan. With this major update, we will be extending our vision horizon to 2040. This gives us the opportunity and the challenge of really thinking about that future. If you are not yet familiar with the city's past comprehensive plans, I encourage you to review the previous plans at your leisure. The 2016 plan maintained the vision of seeking a high quality of life and strong sense of place, of preserving the rural and equestrian heritage, and to direct growth to the identified growth areas on the future development map and future community maps. Some well-established notions about Milton and its trajectory forward were documented in these plans. We established Milton's identity and quite literally defined it. Milton's comprehensive plans is a little unusual in that we included a glossary of terms. We actually coined concepts such as open road neighborhood, defined as residential homes or neighborhoods located along public open 2-lane country roads, which contrasts conventional subdivision neighborhoods. We also coined rural viewshed, which is defined as the pastoral views that can be seen along the roads as one travels through Milton. Here is one of the fundamental concepts in the local comprehensive planning in Georgia. It is the character area map. The idea here is to have communities think about and recognize the various and sometimes nuanced characters of their community. For Milton, 8 character areas were distinguished, described with a narrative, and mapped. With distinct character areas, each of these areas can be thought of as an individual planning area with its own recommendations for future growth and/or preservation. This contributes to the actual zoning decisions for these areas. There is also the concept of future development areas. Milton identified 4 future development areas: Crabapple, Deerfield, Arno Mill, and Birmingham Crossroads. Crabapple and Deerfield were identified and went on to become Milton's economic development areas and Milton's downtown. These areas got grant funding for master plans and additional zoning and programs to help advance their development. Arno Mill was identified as an area to be studied, which we did and produced a master plan. Birmingham Crossroads had a master plan already existing. This map and these 8 character areas and 4 future development areas that were identified in the previous comprehensive plans is something that we will revisit during this project. Let's review the concept of future land use. Future land use is a suggestion of what should be built in the future. Future land use designation is less detailed, less specific than zoning, where a zoning category explains exactly what is permitted to be built on site. Example, TR, which is townhouse residential, specifies townhouse, and it would permit a certain density for that development. A land use category of residential is less specific. The relationship between the two is that land use categories or designations will have a compatibility chart that will list the zoning categories that can be allowed within that land use. The TR zoning would be compatible and allowed within a residential land use. Zoning is not something that is tackled in the comprehensive plan, since the comprehensive plan is more of a big picture and not so specific. But land use and potential changes to this map is part of this process. On this slide, you will see that I say that Milton residents hold this map dear. In Milton, this is a very powerful map. In the past, changes to this map brought very passionate residents to the discussions. Residents know that changes to zoning that is incompatible with the underlying land use on this map is something that Council is not receptive to doing. In Milton, this map is not open to changes, but for every 5 years through the comprehensive planning process. So it is something that can get folks really excited. We may be reviewing a few requests for changes and deciding on these. I want to continue by mentioning the top 2 important plan requirements according to DCA. One is the Community Work Program and the Report of Accomplishments. I will talk about the other one on the next slide. The Community Work Program is a list of projects that we will compile during this planning process. It becomes a project list for city staff to work on during the 5-year interlude between comprehensive plans. The plans that follow will need a report of accomplishments that accounts for all the projects that were listed in the previous plan's work program. Now, DCA finds this is very important and their number 1 most frequent cause for plan rejection if this is not presented correctly. The next extremely important requirement for DCA is public participation. We in Milton have always had a very engaged community participants, as you can see from the pictures from our recent trails planning effort. Over the years, we have developed very effective community engagement strategies, both in person and online. In the past, we have utilized the Crabapple Fest events with a booth and Earth Day events to reach the community, as well as our own comprehensive plan events. This year, we will make use of enhanced online methods, not only because of the current pandemic, but the technology is available, and Milton has a history and reputation of high response rates to surveys available online. DCA wants to see records of how the wider community was involved in all aspects of the plan, that is, the creation of the vision, the map edits, the work program items, etc. None of the CPAC meetings will be closed to the public, and every material decision made by CPAC will be made with the consideration of the wider community. DCA finds this to be very important and their number 2 most frequent cause for plan rejection if this is not done and presented correctly. Before I leave this topic of plan requirements, I want to show you this DCA slide that shows the spectrum of items or elements that is recommended for comprehensive plans to explore. There are required elements and optional elements. We will have, as required in our comprehensive plan, a community goals section, a needs and opportunity section, and the community work program that we talked about a few slides ago. The community goals are long-term aspirations in the 10 to 20-year time frame. The needs and opportunities are more immediate things that the community feels it needs, and it encourages the discussion about the possible opportunities to make them a reality. This exercise will then funnel into a list of items for the community work program. We will also need to include, as required, the capital improvement element, or CIE, our land use map, an economic development section, transportation, and housing. For the optional elements, we will look at Arnold Mill as a targeted area. Since we have acquired over 406 acres of green space since 2018 through our Green Space Bond program, we will discuss this along with natural resources. And community sustainability will be discussed as it relates to natural resources and the built environment. We will also look at some additional topics like placemaking, smart communities, and public art. To help us work through all this, we have hired the assistance of TSW Consulting Services. We are planning to utilize TSW to help us produce an award-winning and forward-thinking document that reflects the Milton community. You will meet this team at our meeting on August 12th. Some of you would have met some of these team members who worked on previous plans for Milton. That is, our crabapple placemaking plan, our crabapple LCI plan and form-based codes, and our ongoing rural and equestrian zoning project. Here is our draft schedule that you received a few weeks ago. The thing I want to explain here is our DCA deadlines. Milton's cycle to complete its comprehensive plan is October 31st every 5 years. That is 2016 to 2021, and the other will be 2026, etc. Because every bit of the comprehensive plan has to be completed and adopted by our City Council at a council meeting before the end of October 2021, we want to have a completed draft by June of 2021. This will allow for an ample community review and comment period and multiple council work sessions if we have to. It also allows for the 60-day review period for ARC and DCA and gives us time to apply any corrections to the document before our council can approve the final document before the end of October 2021. Here are your fellow committee members on this Citizens Advisory Committee to the Comprehensive Plan. This is a sworn committee pursuant to the city's charter. Let me just point out that DCA added a requirement that elected officials participate in comprehensive planning business. There may be 2 council members who will be joining. I hope this presentation helped you understand what you are about to get into with preparing a comprehensive plan. As the CPAC, you will meet to discuss the comprehensive plan, and it is your authority to recommend policies to the City Council relevant to the scope of the comprehensive plan. Members must attend 2/3 of the meeting, and a majority of the board members present establishes a quorum. Any action taken requires a majority of affirmative votes of the quorum present. All meetings at which official action is taken shall be open to the public, and all records of minutes and votes maintained by the committee are public record. The charter allows this committee to make its own rules of procedures and determine its time of meetings. The date and time of each meeting, as well as agenda items to be considered, shall be published in the same manner as meetings of the Mayor and City Council. Some of you I have worked with before. I look forward to working with you again, and I also look forward to meeting the new members. Thank you for committing to this process. On the next slide, I will put some links to the comprehensive plans and other resources. All the best.